Mario Kart World, Metroid Prime 4, a new Kirby Air Ride game, and a brand new 3D Donkey Kong? The Nintendo Switch 2 has cooked! What could they possibly do to... Huh? Huh? Welcome to it? How much? Why on earth would it cost money? Hey storytellers, Chill here, back from a legitimate break. Sorry for not uploading for a while, but I just needed some time off, you know. School gets busy, I have stuff to do outside of this, and I just wasn't feeling it, so I decided to take a little break, but now I feel rejuvenated. I'm not at 100% yet, not exactly at 100%, but I'm getting there, so the uploads are coming back. And I know some of you guys are like, whoa, where the hell are you? This is not your usual studio, as in my kitchen. Well, for this video, I actually want to be a lot more casual. You see, the Nintendo Switch 2 was announced at the time of filming this video yesterday morning, and that direct was absolutely crazy. I mean, I had expectations for it, but it blew it out of the water. I didn't think they were going to announce this many games, let alone this many games that I actually care about, and the console is looking outstanding, even despite its pretty high price. I mean, before we get into the games, I'll just say, yes, obviously I do think the Switch 2 is priced pretty high. Obviously I could not immediately go buy it, but I'm also acknowledging that it's a video game console. Okay, they're gonna be expensive, and my actual expectations was that I thought the Switch 2 was maybe gonna cost $500 out the goddamn gate, but $450 and then $500 for that plus the Mario Kart bundle, while it's super expensive, isn't to the point where I'm like, okay, it's absolutely outrageous. It is just expensive, and I'm a bit sad I can't buy it immediately. But that's good, because that means I'm gonna be waiting and I'm gonna be watching, and trust me, I am gonna be watching, because even though I don't make that many video game videos right now, I am a huge Nintendo fan, okay? And when a new console comes out, I pay attention, I keep my eye on it, and the first few years, I actually care a lot. So this actually marks the first time that you guys are seeing me, you know, follow a console from the beginning of its announcement, kind of, until probably the death or the heat death of the universe, who knows? But yeah, I'm just going to be talking about some of the stuff that was announced for the Switch 2, going to be giving my thoughts on it. I'm going to be using this as sort of a discussion. The comment section is obviously free, and you guys can go down there and give your thoughts on the Switch 2 as well. Like, you know, I want to know what you guys think. This community we have are not only a community of storytellers, but our community of fans of media, cartoons, anime, comics, movies, and video games. And I want to use this as an opportunity to give everyone a space to talk about the video games they love so much. Or maybe this video will get 50 views, who knows? So the first game we're going to be talking about is Mario Kart World, the Switch 2's Mario Kart game that will be releasing on launch day, which is an excellent choice in my opinion. I mean, Mario Kart is obviously one of the most successful franchises Nintendo has, especially, you know, the console-specific franchises, and, you know, for launch titles, this just makes sense. And for the longest time, me and my friends have been saying to each other, I mean, it's Mario Kart. What are they gonna possibly add that could really make it that much crazier? Especially with the Switch 2's whole console gimmick being the mouse. I mean, how are you gonna open world Mario Kart? Which initially sounds really dumb and sounds really stupid, but judging by the gameplay we saw during the direct, it looks very, very fun. And I want to say one of my hopes / concerns is that I honestly hope that these stages are filled. I mean, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. From what we saw in the direct, they all look crazy. Even the ones that look derivative of past stages or like remix of past stages almost look brand goddamn new. So I'm just hoping that these worlds outside of their main tracks are actually filled with things. And they don't just have to, you know, I don't mean like they all have to have people and mini and side quests and like people to talk to and stuff. I just want to see stuff, even if it's like a long, beautiful like valley of grass that like technically has nothing. At least visually it is beautiful, and obviously the soundtrack is going to be the bomb, and it's going to carry during moments like that. But the open world mode looks super fun, especially playing it with your friends and taking pictures with your friends. I mean, Lord knows whenever I get this game, I'm definitely going to be doing that with my friends. It's going to be so much fun. And plus the additional gameplay mechanics, whether it is the rail grinding, the wall jumping and wall riding, the new vehicles such as snowmobiles and I think planes they show depending on where you are, an evolution of what was shown on Mario Kart 7. Then, you know, the outfit changes with each stage, which I think is just so cool and is like honestly incredible. Like, this Mario Kart game looks good enough that one of my friends who was agreeing with me that we probably weren't going to get the console for a very long time said, hey, maybe I gotta get it. And I said, girl, you're tripping. And you know, the Mario Kart game looks really good. There are just some stuff I hope for it. I mean, everything they've shown has been outstanding. They haven't shown the full roster, I think. I haven't even like really looked at the characters they showed, but I hope the roster's good. And most importantly, I hope there are other things to do. I know they announced a bunch of new game modes, but god damn it, Nintendo, we just want a really good battle mode, okay? Just give us a really fun battle mode that is fun to play at random times of the day. That is one of the best like pick up and play features of the Mario Kart franchise. Yeah, I love doing races, but balloons, stars, the shine stuff, fun new stages, like imagine if we could kart ride on a giant Nintendo Switch. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that would be super fun, and that's kind of what I'm hoping from Mario Kart World. I mean, we'll have to see. It is an $80 game, which is horrific, and I genuinely don't care what you think. $80? Nuts. Which kind of does make getting it with the Switch bundle like the ideal way to get it. I mean, in your mind, that either means you're getting Mario Kart cheaper or you're getting the Switch cheaper. In either way, you're getting something cheaper, but they're both super expensive. But yeah, they're gonna be having a Mario Kart Direct. It's another one that's gonna be really early in the morning for me, so I don't know if I'll make a video about it. I might stream it. Who knows? The next thing they talked about during the Direct was the C button. The C button was one of the things that was, you know, debated. People were like, what the hell does this C button do? And I'm gonna be real, I didn't really care what other people said. When I heard C button, I thought they meant C stick like on the GameCube, and I got excited. But it turns out the C button is for game chat, which looks interesting. I think obviously I have a bias. I mean, I have a pretty decent mic, I have a computer, I have all the means to chat with my friends online without going through, you know, weird console services. So obviously my standards are going to be a bit higher. But if you are a kid and you only have a Nintendo Switch, or you're somewhere and you only want to use your Nintendo Switch, from what we've seen, the game chat looks functional. I mean, just the fact that you can be on game chat with your friends, even if you all are playing different games, is super cool in itself, and the entire setup of the thing looks really cool. The only issue is that with services like this, what they show in the trailers with audio quality and video quality are never going to be accurate. I mean, I was burnt by the Kinect, and I know that had a lot of errors that were far beyond what I think the game chat will be, but I've seen, you know, obviously your video chat feature is going to look outstanding when all of your actors are under studio lighting. But I don't know, is it gonna look fine when I'm in my horribly lit room? Like, how good is the mic actually? Because we know any audio from this was not from the mic. And then the FPS from game streaming is absolutely horrific. I mean, they showed it in the Direct, it just looked not great. So it's not an efficient way to watch your friend's game. Discord is always just the better alternative, and it's probably the alternative that a lot of people are going to be using. But it's also good to have this in-console version for people who don't have Discord or don't want to use it. I will say it being a feature that is locked behind Nintendo Online is dumb, because Nintendo Online is a scam. And I don't care how many poorly emulated classics they put on that console, goddammit. But we'll get more into that later. The next thing I want to talk about are the specs of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I'm not a specs guy, so I'm not going to be spending too long talking about the exact details, but I do want to say I was actually really impressed. The main thing that stands out to me is the 120 FPS. Now, I know some people who play PC or play like video games on like intense screens or whatever are probably like, that's nothing, 120 FPS ain't shit. But it's, to me, that's crazy. I remember when I think Smash 4 was 60 FPS and people were like geeking about it. My TV didn't do that, right? So I didn't know it was 60 FPS. I didn't know how 60 FPS looked. So the fact that 120 is like now what Nintendo is doing seemingly for both the television and the handheld version, it's very crazy. And not just because we get to go to those levels, but it shows how strong the hardware is, which means that, you know, more intensive games will probably be able to be played on the Switch too. That plus the cooling fan, like the sturdiness of the stand, which I know was a problem for me. I know my stand broke like a year into having the Switch, and it wasn't a problem. Like I would cope. I would just hold it. It's fine. But the stand was super helpful when playing, you know, in a public space with your friends, and you don't want to find like a can of Monster Energy drink to like put it on. I will say, they did not really touch on the joysticks at all, which was really funny. I get why they didn't. If they admitted that the original Nintendo Switch joysticks were faulty, that damages the brand of a product that is still actively being sold right now. Like it will for a very long time, I feel like. But I would still like some reassurance that my joysticks will not completely be ruined and then we'll have Joy-Con drift. But they did mention the big gameplay feature of the Nintendo Switch 2, that being the Joy-Con mouse, which is outstanding. Not a lot of people are talking about this, but in my opinion, this decision is going to do wonders for Nintendo. I think the best example is the fact that they used gameplay footage of Metroid Prime 4 and showed you literally pointing and shooting. Like, that is gonna make the game so much fun, and it's gonna make so many other games so much fun. Like, obviously a big benefit to playing games on a computer, on a PC, is not only, you know, there are more games, there's more customization, the specs are better, but it's also the control set is better. Some people prefer a mouse and keyboard over, you know, controllers. And this sort of gives people that similar option for certain games. We still need to see how it works. Like, can the mouse be used for every game? Can it only be used for specific games? Like, is it just an alternate way of doing the joystick? Like, how does that work? That's gonna be interesting to see, but I think if Nintendo does it well and does it smart, they can make the Switch 2 even more appealing to people whose big reason of not really playing Nintendo is gonna be that controller function. Because guess what? Having a Switch with a bunch of classic Nintendo games, and maybe some games you can also get on PC that you can play like on PC, but also play with your family, is gonna get those people who, you know, want to do that. It's not gonna get the hardcore PC gamers, obviously. Nothing is gonna get them. Shout out to PC gamers, but you guys are kind of pricks. But it is gonna get a small amount of people that perhaps weren't really going to Nintendo or were not playing the games as much. And plus, it gives us a reason to play shooters on Nintendo more. I mean, my friend Taj, shout out Wars Taj, said, I wonder how Splatoon is gonna be played with this mouse. And honestly, my mind is just flurrying thinking about that.
We'll be right back with more Chillixion.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video so far? Do you want to see more content just like this one? Well, goddammit, don't just stand there! Click that like button. You thought I would forget after a month, huh? You fucking thought I would forget, huh? In all seriousness though, clicking like is the best way to show that you want to see more content just like this. It's the fastest, it's the easiest, and it's the most clear way to show your support for the content. Remember, support the content and support the creator. Let's get this video to 30 likes. It's been a minute, but let's get this video to 30 likes. If we get this video to 30 likes, it lets me know that you guys want to see more video game content and more content about the Nintendo Switch 2, and goddammit, I will be keeping an eye out for this console, so expect some more, but you gotta show your support. But anyway, whether you like the video or not, thank you for showing your support. Let's go back to the video.
Welcome back for more Chillixion.
The next thing I want to talk about was Welcome Tour. What's Welcome Tour? Oh, you don't remember? Welcome Tour is the explaining the technology tech demo that I thought was going to be included in the console for free, but cost, how much money does it cost? Let's figure it out. Let's Google it. Okay, Welcome Tour is going to be $6.12. It's cheap. but it's still more than $1, and it shouldn't cost more than $1, okay? This is a super cool thing that I think is like actually sick. Like, I think having a way to explain all the technology within your console is super important. If people get curious, it's super important. This type of stuff that would be on an instruction manual, you know, the thing that doesn't exist anymore, and it's super helpful to have, and having it in this cute little format, you know, is adorable. It would be a cool thing to have just on your console automatically. So why do I have to pay money for it? It's so dumb. I don't have a lot more to say about Welcome Tour, but the fact that this is gonna cost money just makes no sense to me. And you wanna know something else that doesn't make sense on why it costs money? The Nintendo Switch 2 versions of games you already own. If you need a refresher, there are certain games that are going to get expanded versions on the Switch 2. An example being Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which is outstanding. They are now going to, you know, be enhanced. They are going to be at higher frame rates with better graphics, probably faster load times, better controls, extra features, I think they said in the trailer, right? All these extra stuff for original games that most people probably already own on the Nintendo Switch 2. My thing is, why does it cost extra? You have to purchase an upgrade pack. And here's the thing, with stuff like Kirby, I kind of get it, because with Kirby, they're adding a bunch of new stuff that like genuinely looks like a brand new extra game on top. And that is a little bit, you know, understandable. Assuming the upgrade pack is gonna be, I don't even know if that's what they call it, but the upgrade pack is gonna be like $8, right? That makes sense for something like Kirby. For stuff like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where they're probably not gonna be adding a whole lot much, why do we have to pay extra to upgrade? We already own the games. Why not just let us, you know, put the games in, click download, take up space on the console, by the way. That costs money, because if we run out of space, we're gonna have to go get your micro express SD whatever card, right? And, you know, we download the game and we just have an expanded version. We don't need extra content. We can just have the game that we already bought with the graphics that it can do on this console, that we bought, the load time that it can do on this console, maybe the extra gameplay options that we can do on this console. It's crazy that Nintendo is still keeping up their old ways, because back in the day, if you don't remember, there was Twilight Princess. This was on the GameCube and on the Wii. These were two different gameplay experiences, because one was made for the Wii with the Wiimote, and one was made for the GameCube with the controller. Two different gameplay experiences. I think two also different experiences graphics-wise, but I know the difference in graphics between both consoles were not that big. But two different gameplay experiences. Obviously, you had to buy both separately, because they could not have a thing where you like put your GameCube disc in your Wii and it upgraded it digitally. That was not like a possibility at all. But Nintendo has the means to just let you upgrade it digitally. So why can't I do it for free? You don't need to add a bunch of shit to justify why you're making me pay $10.99 for a game I already own. And of course, I could just play Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2, put it in, play it, no extra cost. But I'm not getting upgraded load times, upgraded performance, and upgraded graphics, which is still a bummer. Those things cost money. Nintendo is fine. They are already sucking our money out in every possible way. We are allowed to criticize them on this. And the sad thing is, I love the idea of Switch 2 versions, okay? They seem super helpful. It's super smart to do this instead of re-releasing the game and being like, here's a new game, right? It's super smart to do these Switch 2 versions. I just think the paid upgrades don't make sense, especially when the benefits of paying extra are just like things that we expect because we bought the goddamn console and a bunch of extra bull. During the Direct, they also talked about Metroid Prime 4, which they talked a lot more about during the Direct last week about Nintendo Switch games. All I want to say is that Prime 4 looks really good. I had Metroid Prime 1 and I think Prime 2 when I was younger, and I used to love playing those games. I was not very good at them, I never beat them, but I did have a good time playing them, and I'm just really excited for Metroid Prime 4, especially being able to play it with the goddamn mouse. That is going to be super fun, just like a classic first-person shooter game with Nintendo's best first-person shooter franchise. Like, it's gonna be amazing. Prime 4 looks great, Samus's new suit looks great, her new power set looks great. I mean, there's not much I can say that people haven't already said. I don't have many expectations because even though I like the Metroid franchise and I've had played a few of their games, I don't know too much about it. I don't know what fans expect. I don't know what fans want. I just kind of like Metroid, and I like playing Metroid because it makes me feel good in my tum-tum. Shout out Simon Miller. But a game I actually do want to talk about extensively that is going to go under a lot of people's radars is Drag X Drive. Drag X Drive is the game with the, I think the, let me look up the term before I make a mistake and get in trouble. Drag and Drive is the wheelchair basketball game that, in my opinion, looks super sick. It is a 3-on-3 sports game with an absolutely radical aesthetic. It looks super fun. It looks super sick. It looks super stylized. Like using the mouse controls to, you know, roll on the wheels, and I think, you know, using motion controls to do the basketball shooting and stuff like that, and even like signaling to your teammates with the Joy-Con looks super duper fun. And just based on how these stages are laid out, it looks like you'll also be able to do tricks and stuff like that, and even do tricks on like outside areas. We did not see a lot from the Switch 2 Direct from this game, but I am honestly really excited. I'm hoping this game is not just like one level and it's like a full price game and you can only do like a few things. I'm hoping it is pretty fleshed out with a bunch of cool stages. I hope the soundtrack is just as good as it sounded in the trailer, because I think genuinely, if Nintendo puts a lot of effort into this, markets this well, and makes this like a full game that you want to spend your time on, this can be one of the games that people are gonna, and makes it not $80, and makes it one of the more affordable games on the Switch 2. Drag X Drive can actually be like one of the, because it's not a launch title, but it is coming out in summer, so that means either like in the three first months, it can be one of those games that people pick up initially and are like, this is super fun, this is a bit cheap, but this is fun for all of my friends, and this is like super cool. If you're picking up a Switch in the first year, you gotta get this game. It's super sick. I'm really hoping that's what happens for Drag X Drive. That first trailer honestly like got my attention, and I'm just excited to see more about it. I wish more people were talking about it, but it's cool to see. Also, it's just cool to see like a like major game from a major publisher like have a disabled representation. Like that's just cool. Sorry if that makes me sound preachy or makes me sound like I want brownie points. I just think it's fucking sick. The next thing I want to talk about from the Direct was the Hyrule Warriors game, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Now, I played the original Hyrule Warriors when it came out on the Wii U. I played it for a few hours, and then I was like, this is cool, but not really my style right now. I still think Hyrule Warriors and the Warriors franchise in general looks outstanding. The gameplay style looks super frantic and super fun. I guess just the first time I never really liked it. I never touched the one that came out on 3DS or the, I think, re-release on the Switch, and I never touched the Breath of the Wild one that came out on the Switch as well. But Age of Imprisonment looks actually really sick because they're giving you stories that are not happening in the main games but are still canon, which is what I think the other Breath of the Wild one was as well. But this one just looks way more interesting. Like, it has a lot of aura, and I know the gameplay is pretty much the same, but it still looks super cool and super sick. Again, I'm not getting the Nintendo Switch 2 for a very long time, but if when I get it, this game is on sale, I see no reason why I wouldn't pick it up, you know, play on it. Like, this seems like the perfect game to just like have in your bed and just play it. I will not lie, when they showed Zelda walking first, I thought it was going to be a Zelda launch title spin-off of Tears of the Kingdom, and I was gonna lose my mind. The next thing I want to talk about was something I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, and it is the Nintendo Switch Online Classics and the addition of Gamecube games. Now, contrary to perhaps your belief based on what I said earlier in this video, but I don't hate this. I actually love the GameCube, and I love the fact that they're adding this to this service. I think that the fact that they're putting classic games out like this is super cool. Just having them available is super important, not just for like people who want to play games from their childhood or maybe games that they missed out on, but even for new Nintendo fans, you know, exploring the history and the catalog. Damn. But even for new Nintendo fans who are exploring the company's history and their previous games catalog, because I know when I was super young and I was first getting into video games, a big part of the reason why I kept coming, pause, what the fuck? A big part of the reason why I stayed interested was because you know, I had means of playing older games. I didn't have Virtual Console, but my cousin had a bunch of classic video games that I used to watch him play all the time. So this is super cool, and the fact that they're adding GameCube, I mean, Wind Waker, F-Zero, Soul Calibur 2, outstanding additions, absolutely amazing, still super cool for Nintendo to do. However, I don't like the Nintendo Online service. I think it's stupid, I think it's bad, and I wish we could go back to the time where Nintendo Online stuff was free. Because it was possible. And I know that's never gonna happen, but I can still complain, god damn it, because the services that we're getting on that online thing are, in my opinion, not worth the price point. If you have it, there's no shame in that. More power to you for doing that and, you know, enjoying your purchase if you do, of course. But I just think it's kind of nonsense, and I don't think it's good enough for me. And obviously, we still have a while until the Nintendo Switch 2 is released, and I don't think this is gonna happen, but in my opinion, if I was working at Nintendo, if I was saying, okay, we want people to have this online service, what is a way that we guarantee that people have this service? Put Melee on there. We know Smash Bros is not going to be done for a very long time on the Switch 2. Hell, there's maybe a chance that Smash Bros is never done on the Switch 2. I mean, it's a very successful franchise, but honestly, where do you go up from Ultimate? But people are going to want this console, and people are going to want to play Smash Bros on this console some way or another. And Melee is literally kind of universally considered the best or one of the best Smash Bros games. So put it on there, goddammit. Now I could see them saving it for a later date, maybe Christmas or something, you know, to really incentivize those holiday buys. Or I could see them waiting for like another big direct to announce it, so there's a huge pop. But I think putting Melee on there has to happen very, very soon, okay? Because we're gonna be in the era of GameCube on the online classics for a super long time before we even think about putting stuff like the Wii on there. I mean, first they gotta get through the DS. But I genuinely think putting Melee on there is gonna make some of those Smash Bros fans who aren't really sure if they want that new Nintendo console just yet, because they're not even sure if their favorite franchise is gonna be playable on there, it's gonna make them take out their credit cards and swipe, because they are going to want a new Melee box. And let's admit it, okay? We all know, no matter what they do if they re-release Melee, people are gonna be angry, okay? People are gonna be like, oh, they removed my exploits, they removed my glitches, the frame rate's not good. People are gonna have something to complain about. But just putting the option out on there is gonna be good enough for some people. It's the least you can do if you're gonna force us to have those ugly fucking borders up. And during the reveal of this, they showed other games. I think they showed Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Coliseum on there and a few other ones. And there's a ton of classic GameCube games. I mean, Luigi's Mansion, Sunshine, Animal Crossing, a bunch of stuff that is going to be amazing to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, just having another box to play those on is going to be fun, even with the limitations of the Nintendo Switch online service. So this as a whole is a net positive. I am just very, very critical of Nintendo's online model, and I will continue to be critical because they are only going to improve if we continue to complain. The next thing I want to talk about was a game that actually confused me for a little bit. You know, we saw this image, forcing editor me to put an image here, no problem. We saw this image and I was confused on what this was. I was like, is this Resident Evil, Castlevania, Devil May Cry? I don't know why I thought any of those. But no, it is From Software's new game, The Duskbloods, a game that is going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, and I am absolutely excited because it looks like the most fun game and the most up my alley Souls-like I have ever seen. I know a lot of people love Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. My partner adores Elden Ring. She could not stop playing, and shout out to her and shout out to Elden Ring. But this is gonna be for me. You get to be a vampire with a blicky? Yes, sir. Jokes aside, though, this game looks freaky. This game looks nuts. It has all of the From Software touches that even I, someone who does not play Souls-like games, you know, can recognize from a distance. And since it is exclusive to the Switch 2, that means that all of its features are built around the Switch, which means that, hopefully, if they're smart, there's not going to be, you know, any crazy frame rate drops or anything that is game breaking. You are going to get the full intent experience by playing it on your Nintendo Switch 2, and it's gonna be real good. And you know what? I am sure that this is gonna happen, but I wanna say it out loud. I really hope that they keep the difficulty up. I don't want this to be the easiest From Software game. I don't want this to be the worst From Software game, okay? Is it gonna be the best? Maybe not, probably not, but I want it to be at least good and playable. And you know, a game that people want to play and therefore lead to the Nintendo Switch 2 being bought. I mean, Nintendo's smart, From Software is smart, they know why people play their games, they know people want those super frustrating, horrific experiences with those freaky ass monsters, and the fact that we get to do that, being a vampire with a blicky, is just outstanding. Obviously, I cannot wait till we see more from this game. This is not going to get me to buy the console, but it's definitely making me think about it. I mean, if I get the console, this is going to be one of the games that I keep an eye on, that I want to buy. The penultimate thing I want to talk about was the announcement of Kirby Air Ride 2, or Kirby Air Riders, a new Kirby Air Ride game, and it's so exciting. I cannot even say how excited I was seeing this. Kirby Air Ride is just a great game. I didn't play it when I was a kid. I saw my cousin play it when I was a kid, but I have played it since. I found my ways, and it is absolutely so much fun. It is just such a vibe, and the fact that this and Mario Kart World are going to be on the same console, oh my god. And it's directed by Masahiro Sakurai. I mean, his games are outstanding. The dude who made Smash Bros, Kid Icarus, Kirby, all these outstanding games. The games he makes always have such a polish to it, and since the first Kirby's Air Ride, he has just improved so much as a director and as someone who puts so much care and love into his games. I cannot wait to see what he does to a sequel that fans have been asking for forever. I mean, since I was aware of Kirby Air Ride, people have been demanding for a second one, and I'm just really excited. Obviously, we do not know that much, but we do know that it's coming. And I want to say, some people are saying, that confirms no Smash Bros for the Switch 2. And while I think there is a chance that we do not get a Smash Bros on this console, I will say that this doesn't confirm anything. The only thing that it confirms is that Sakurai is working on Kirby's Air Ride. That's it. Ooh, but he won't want to work on 2 games. You don't know what he wants. You don't know what he doesn't want. You don't know if he's going to want to make 5 games. You don't know if he's not even going to want to finish this one. Just let the man chill, okay? Because even saying stuff like this confirms no Smash Bros on Switch 2 is super annoying and is super just like putting pressure on Sakurai for no reason. Just let bro chill. It's just a dude making a video game. Calm down. God damn it, Nintendo knows how much money Smash Bros makes. They know it is a guarantee, outstanding bestseller hit for every single console they make. Do you really think they're gonna pass up on that opportunity? Maybe, but probably not. And the last game I want to talk about is one for me. Is one for the games I grew up playing. God damn it, it is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did not realize how big of a Donkey Kong fan I was until they announced this game, but it looks crazy. A 3D Donkey Kong game. I think the first 3D Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong 64, unless I am entirely like forgetting a game. But it's made by the Odyssey team. You can tell they have their fingers all over it. The graphics look insane. The new gameplay mechanics that we saw, like not even elaborated on, look insane, like spinning on rocks. Donkey Kong's design is adorable. It's fun. It is fresh. It is new. That is just so exciting. That plus Mario's new voice and Prime 4 and Zelda has me thinking that Nintendo is done being attached to the old versions of their characters for good. They're finally making dramatic shifts to their biggest franchises. And we don't know much about this Donkey Kong game, right? But we know that it is a Donkey Kong game made by the people who did Super Mario Odyssey 2, which means that no matter what, this game is going to be amazing, both gameplay-wise and world-wise, because it's going to be open world and it is going to have so much going on. I just cannot imagine what they're gonna have. I mean, we were shown like a retro type level, a reference to the original Donkey Kong Country, and it was still 3D, so perhaps like a whole like retro stage, which would be super fun, or maybe it's just like a little gameplay thing. I think it looks incredible. I think it looks great. I'm kind of hoping that they keep up the tradition of Donkey Kong, which is mainly a whole lot of collectibles. Mainly I'm thinking of Donkey Kong 64 with the like 1 million bananas, but obviously more efficient and less annoying to collect because you can only play at Donkey Kong, and also the game being hard as shit. That is what we want. The Mario can be easy. We want Donkey Kong to be very, very difficult. But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks super fun. As soon as we get more information, I mean, that's going to be one of those games that if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're someone with a Switch 2, you're going to have to buy that one, okay? Like, Nintendo knows that even with the kind of crazy price, there are going to be a lot of people buying the Switch 2. Whether it's Nintendo fans, whether it's content creators, whether it's parents, whether it's just randoms who have a lot of money and who see it and who want to buy it. Or whether it's just people who want to have fun and don't have a lot going on in their life and they're like, you know what, goddammit, I want a Nintendo Switch 2. That is my big purchase of the year. There are going to be a lot of people buying this console. Nintendo knows that. Now it is just up to them to present them the games that will convince people, yeah, I gotta get this console as soon as possible. And obviously, in this Direct, it was mostly announcing games that are coming out closer to release. The games that you are going to be buying as soon as possible. But I'm excited to see what Nintendo does in the future few months leading up to the Switch 2, because you know they are going to have to start announcing games that will not be coming out for a very long time. Games that are going to get you to buy the console even though you can't even play the game yet. And it's going to be super exciting. Obviously, I didn't talk about everything that was put in this Direct. I didn't even talk about Pokemon for 2 seconds. I didn't talk about the other Switch 2 games. I just talked about the stuff I cared about, the stuff I had input on. But what do you have input on? Do you agree with what I was saying? Are you excited for the games I was excited about? Is there a game that I missed that you want to strangle me for? Well, put it in the comments below. This is a discussion video, okay? Comment to your heart's content and I will reply to equally my heart's content. But the point here is that we are trying to create a community here. We're trying to have discussions. Are you gonna get the Switch 2? Are there any games that really catch your eye? Are you refusing to get the Switch 2 because it is too expensive or because it doesn't have gameplay features you want? Or, you know, are you like, this is gonna be the best console ever? Or do you not even care about Nintendo? What are your thoughts? Just put them down in the comments below. Like I said at the beginning, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but I took a break for my own mental health sake, and it has been super helpful, and I'm very grateful for everyone who, when I make community posts, either just likes it or, you know, comments, you got it, we'll wait for you, we'll be here when you come back. It means a lot. Even though, you know, there's not a whole lot of us, the people who are here, you guys, the storytellers, we have created a community, and thank you guys for showing me the support, for supporting the content, and supporting the creator. And I'm hoping that I give you guys the same fun and entertainment. I can't promise that I'm going to be uploading every single week immediately, but I can promise that I'm going to make content as much as I can, and I will be telling you guys when I have videos coming in the community page. So make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, click that little bell icon, and keep an eye on those community posts. Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for watching my discussion on the Nintendo Switch 2. I know it was a bit unscripted and a bit wild. There's not going to be a lot of videos like this, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I'm going to go back to re-watching that entire Direct over and over again until my eyes fall out. So I hope all of you have a damn good one. Peace.